Welcome to 12 Report with Blessings Mosugu, and these are the headlines. President Tinubu holds closed-door meeting with service chiefs. Police to resume tinted glass permit enforcement in January. South Africa marks Reconciliation Day 2025. We have our reporters stationed in different parts of the country and beyond. Victor Mbadike is on standby in Lagos. Austin Azu joins us from Asaba, while Bongani Ziva and Afia Hagan join us from Johannesburg and London, respectively. We've got the details in a moment. We begin the 12th report in Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu held a closed-door meeting with the service chiefs at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa on Monday. The session began around 6:01 p.m. local time, with the security chiefs arriving at the forecourt before being ushered into the president's office. This marks Tinubu's first engagement with the military high command since swearing in retired General Christopher Musa as a new Minister of Defense on December 4. While the official agenda remains undisclosed, the meeting comes amid mounting security concerns, including the ongoing captivity of 115 students kidnapped from a Catholic boarding school in November, and the recent approval by Nigeria's Senate for troop deployment to Benin Republic following an attempted coup there. Still talking security, but in another dimension, the Nigeria police say the enforcement of the tinted glass permit policy will resume on the 2nd of January 2026. Force spokesman Benjamin Hundeyin announced this in a statement citing a surge in vehicle-related crimes. Hundeyin said the decision was made following a review of emerging security concerns. Now, while claiming that no court order has restrained the police from enforcing the law on tinted glasses, the force spokesman said police authorities only voluntarily suspended enforcement after a court matter in October and out of consideration for Nigerians and the Nigerian Bar Association. But in a swift reaction, the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, says the Nigeria Police Force's decision to enforce the tinted glass permit policy amounts to an abuse of the rule of law. And now, operatives of the Borno State Police Command on Monday defused an unexploded ordnance planted under a network mast at Chuskin Federal Low Cost area of Maiduguri. A statement by the police public relations officer of the command, Nahum Dasso, indicated that the team made the recovery following a report received by the divisional police officer, ITE Police Division. The spokesperson reassured residents of the command's unwavering commitment to the protection of lives and property, while urging the public to continue to support the police with timely and credible information. Heavy security has been deployed to the Hotoro area of Kano State following violence and mob action meted out on a suspect alleged to have killed an Islamic cleric. News Central had earlier reported that youths in the area had attacked and burnt down the family house of the suspect, though the police apprehended some of them. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu completes the report.
This is what is left of the family home of Abubakar, the alleged killer of a respected muezzin, Muhammad. On the other side is a mourning scene, home of the late cleric, whose call for prayers has been described as an inspiration to many who turn up for their spiritual obligations. He was the best muezzin in this area. Whenever he called for prayers, everyone, including those in the neighboring communities, respond immediately. He was dedicated to his duty. Family of the deceased victim narrates how he lost his life from the alleged daredevil killer.
What happened here
is that my brother is a muezzin in this mosque. That is, the man responsible for calling for prayers. This morning, he called for the prayers for the first time. And then all of a sudden, the attacker entered the mosque. That time, no one was around. That would be around 5 a.m. The attacker started stabbing him. And then cut out his throat. We suspected he is a ritual killer because he removed the throat and put it in a leather and then put it inside his pocket. We later recovered the throat when he was lynched. My father was a disciplinarian. He's the reason we are all successful today. He's a great father that always stands up for truth and justice. The situation has since left the youth provoked, as many of them say that they have resolved to attack the entire family of the alleged killer. The police, who have since arrived at the crime scene, say investigations are currently ongoing. They, however, say that they will mend their presence in the community for the next few days until the tension is doused down. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
And now, for this conversation, I'm joined by News Central's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu, who is in Kano and has been following this story. Emmanuel, if you can hear me, what is the development?
I can hear you loud and clear. So the situation is the fact that the police have actually deployed a lot of special forces to that particular scene, and the people are actually believing that they should be allowed to take the laws into their hands, because they believe that the alleged killer might be granted amnesty if eventually he's been tried in court. That's the excuse they are given for carrying out that mob action. But the police said the law must take its course, and then they have to continue to remain there for at least the next 48 hours to make sure that tension is doused down. Yeah.
So you were in the family home of the attacker who was lynched. What was the reaction of the family? How have they taken in what their son did?
Yes, just few of them were remorseful, but a lot of them actually were claiming right. Most of them were actually, claiming that they need justice for their son. Their son up to have been arrested and tried instead of in such a manner. So it's unfortunate that the situation is like that. And then, of course, it's a heinous crime as far as this community and the entire society is concerned. And unfortunately, a lot of citizens are even backing that move, because they believe that it's sacrilegious to just go and kill such a holy person in such a manner. In fact, in must. That's something that so it's so unfortunate. But the family members, actually, some of them are remorseful, but some of them are actually it's a kind of mixed feeling, mixed reaction. Some of them are saying that their son has to be tried. So far, the police have been making a lot of arrests, which they may not want to disclose. But this allegation is too straightforward that the young man is a ritual killer, and is known to be someone that is practicing ritual, allegedly in the community. That was why the community members actually believe that they have the opportunity to bring him down. Yeah.
So, Emmanuel, the Kano state government is granting amnesty to 2,000 plus criminals, and now there's this. Will they change their stance looking at this that has happened?
Yes. There has to be a review. That has been the advocacy for a very long time now, because the whole thing is making this mob action, this jungle justice that's happening. That is the current excuse that they are given. Because from what I did yesterday, I started interviewing most of them. There was a jungle justice in Sheka about the young man that killed a pregnant woman with a son, allegedly. And then, of course, this particular one. Just when I was planning to go to Sheka to do the story, I heard that there was jungle justice. The man was stressed. I was killed. These mob actions. The excuses they are given is the fact that prisoners or convicted criminals end up being given amnesty, or end up enjoying a few days in prison, while their loved ones who have been killed are in the grave. So these are issues that require a lot of advocacy, a lot of conversation, and a lot of communication, so that everyone, it's going to be a win-win situation for everybody. Because the mob action in Kano, unfortunately, is becoming a tradition, and you have a lot of youths who are jobless, who will take every advantage of any kind of provocation to go into that kind of mob action. So it's something that the Kano state government has a responsibility of reviewing, and then looking at how to tackle this youth restiveness, which has been amplified by this kind of mob action that's happening. Yeah.
All right, Emmanuel Bagudu there with the update on the development in Kano State on the mob justice meted out on an alleged killer. To more stories, the Nigerian government has dismissed reports that its military aircraft was used for espionage in Burkina Faso. The claims centered on a Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft that was grounded in the Francophone country. Unconfirmed reports allege that the plane was involved in spying operations, an allegation the Nigerian government has debunked as false. The federal government clarified that the aircraft was on a routine ferry flight for scheduled maintenance and made a precautionary landing purely on safety grounds. The government officials warned that the spread of false narratives could undermine public confidence and potentially strain Nigeria's diplomatic relations within the region. The House of Representatives Joint Committees on Petroleum Resources, Downstream and Midstream have summoned the president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, alongside the leadership of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority to appear before them and explain the allegations and counter-allegations fueling their dispute. This follows fresh allegations and counter-allegations between the Dangote refinery and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, saying that it is essential to prevent further tension in the nation's downstream petroleum sector.
These issues, for as long as the committee is concerned, is coming at a time where the committee is guiding jealously the stability that we have achieved in the downstream petroleum sector. So the committees met today and agreed to intervene in the matter once again towards finding sustainable solutions. And we can only find sustainable solutions when we identify the critical issues that is leading to this tension that has returned. And that is why the committee resolved to write communication to Alhaji Aliko Dangote and also the NMDPRA authority chief to meet with the committee to be able to give us details and insight into what are the underlying issues that is leading to these allegations and counter-allegations. And the committee also resolved this afternoon to plead with the contending parties in the dispute to cease fire, especially media comments, so that we don't escalate the situation further.
The Nigerian Senate has expressed strong displeasure over the concurrent implementation of multiple national budgets, describing the practice as a source of confusion in the fiscal space. During an interactive session on the 2026-2028 medium-term expenditure framework, the Senate Committee on Finance grilled the Minister of Finance and other top officials over a 30 trillion naira revenue shortfall in the 2025 fiscal year. The lawmakers are also demanding that the Federal Inland Revenue Service raises its 2026 revenue target to 35 trillion naira. News Central's Sagir Ibrahim reports.
The Senate Committee on Finance played host to the managers of the economy to defend the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework, the precursor for the 2026 budget.
We will hear from them. If we have questions, we raise questions.
But the conversation quickly shifted to the chaotic state of current budget implementations. Lawmakers raised concerns that the federal government is simultaneously running capital components of the 2024 and 2025 budgets, a trend they insist must end.
What is your problem? Why are you rolling over budget of 2025 to 2026 instead of extension?
The Minister of Finance defended the administration's fiscal performance, revealing that the capital component of the 2024 budget has been fully funded. However, the 2025 budget faces severe challenges with a 30 trillion naira revenue shortfall, forcing the government to roll over 70% of the projects into the 2026 fiscal year.
Right now, funding is fully available for the 2024 capital budget. Funding is available for a portion, and the other portion, the plan is to roll it over to 2026 budget. Likewise, for the 2025 capital budget, funding has been made, warrants have been issued, and funding is available for 30% of that budget, with the plan with the cooperation and the support of the National Assembly to roll over the 75%.
To bridge the funding gap and reduce excessive borrowing, the government announced plans to roll out a national voluntary savings scheme to mobilize private funds, encourage a savings culture among Nigerians, and provide a non-inflationary source of revenue for development.
It will be voluntary. It's not taxation. It's not compulsory, but it's giving people a chance to have unearned income. By that, we'll mobilize funds, even at the grassroots level, to complement the world-based development program that pushes resources down.
On the revenue side, the committee tasked the Federal Inland Revenue Service to raise its 2026 projection from 31 trillion to 35 trillion naira. FIRS Chairman Zach Adedeji, however, noted that the benefits of increased revenue collection are often diluted by the complexities of running multiple budget cycles.
We have 2024, we are in 2025, but you have 1 year revenue. Use it to manage 2-year budget. So even if you met the 1 year revenue, how will you hear the Honorable Minister say, I'm paying 2024, whereas you are taking 2025 revenue to pay 2024.
The 2026 budget is predicated on an oil price benchmark of $64.85 per barrel and an exchange rate of 1,512 naira to the dollar. From the National Assembly, Abuja, for News Central, Sagir Ibrahim.
Now to food security. Nigeria is taking another step towards strengthening its agricultural sector as a Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, moves to deepen the red meat initiative and the coconut value chain. News Central's Victor Mbadike, who will be joining us live shortly, says the program is aimed at boosting food security, creating jobs, and improving value addition across the agricultural sector. Victor Mbadike, good afternoon. Now, there seems to be a lot of talk about the agricultural sector. I mean, even if you talk about buying stocks in 2026, many people would point to the agricultural sector. What is the new move in that sector that is, giving hope to those in the agricultural space?
Well, blessings. Thank you so much. Just so you know, every sector has its own challenges, and the agriculture sector is not exempted. Just so you know that the sector also plays a very critical role in food production, job creation, and of course economic diversification. And you also know that with recent, price of food, indiscriminately, if you like, and of course with so much dependence on import, meetings like this has a way of bridging that gap and sorting out some of these problems to see how we can, boost local production that will benefit Nigerians. And of course, just so that you can hear so much more about the meat production, or what they call the red meat production, and of course the coconut value chain, which is the focus of this meeting today. I do have Taufik Brahima, who is the program officer for Food and Agriculture Organization with the UN. Of course, they are the organizers of this meeting. So he'll be telling us exactly what the partnership is all about and what it intends to bring to the table as far as Nigerians and the federal government is concerned. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Quickly tell us, what does the partnership of the FU in terms of what it intends to bring to the table is all about, and what this meeting intends to bring after this program?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think essentially is to see how within the agri-food system space in Nigeria we bring certain level of partnership that are key to unlocking some of the potential that the country has to transform the agri-food systems to be more resilient and also economically viable, and also to spare some jobs for young women and also for youth. So we intend that the outcome of this gathering will be that we will have some strong partnership with private sector players and also multilateral and also bilateral development partners who will commit to investing in this area. So what we've been doing is we've been working with Lagos State government to analyze certain priority value chain that we think has economic potential to to sort of promote certain import or export value in terms of commodity that are very crucial in transforming the agriculture sector with the Lagos State. So we did this by analyzing and developing economic and investment notes that will make it easy for investors to have a template that they can just look at and say, okay, this sector is viable, I can put my money there, and the returns and evidence are very clear that it is viable, and if I put any investment there, there will be a significant return on investment. We had to take that line because we have to provide private sector people with evidence, economic evidence that shows that where they are putting their money, there is good returns. So that is also to ensure that within the state, within Lagos State, there is some understanding on how this matchmaking will be made. So this event is to matchmake Lagos State's Ministry of Agriculture and Food System divisions with the private sector that are here, also bilateral partners that are here to discuss extensively on which models they think is feasible, and then which fundings are available, and how the partnership will be formed to see how we take the discussion forward.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Taufik. Let's really quickly thank you so much, sir, for your time. Do not forget the focus is on Red Initiative and coconut value chain, which, of course, Emmanuel, who is the Palm Secretary of Ministry of Agriculture, will be breaking down to us why on that focus, what exactly is the viability of this sector. Let's talk to you very quickly, sir, if you don't mind. He is the Palm Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. All right, so thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Well, I understand there has to be a reason for the focus on the Red Meat Initiative and coconut value chain. What do we intend to learn after this meeting? Why is it vital as a matter of fact?
All right, for us in Lagos State, population of 25 million climbing daily, with protein being the very important aspect of food for everyone in the state. So as a government, we are involved, particularly concerned about the health and the well-being of our citizens, and so we look for avenues to promote agriculture, as well as to promote food supply, and beyond that also to open up investments within that sector. And that's why we're participating in this program today, focusing on the red meat and coconut value chains of the state. The essence is to drive investment within the sector. Government has provided the infrastructure and the institutional frameworks for the growth of the sector. So it's now to unlock financing also. So we are here today speaking to investors at this round table as to the opportunities that are available in the red meat and coconut value chains of the state, so as to promote the growth of the business, develop businesses, establish slaughterhouses, abattoirs, establish and grow our feedlot production systems to ensure that the state becomes, to some extent, self-reliant in cattle and red meat supply in the state, and of course also coconut production.
Thank you, sir, for your time. I indeed wish you and your team and other stakeholders a happy deliberations afterward. Thank you so much again for your time, for coming live on News Central TV. Well, pleasant, that's much we have here, but the truth is these are farmers on suits discussing how they can expand the coconut value chain and, of course, the red meat initiative, starting from the production at the production level to the very end, where we have people employed in that sector. So basically, it's how to expand and how to make a much better agricultural sector like every other. Thank you so much, Bless, and that's it from me.
All right, Victor Mbadike there with an update on boosting food security in Nigeria, especially with a focus on 2026. You're still live with us on the 12 Report. We go on a short break, and when we come back, we've got more stories. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevwori on Tuesday signed into law the State Appropriations Bill of N1,729,881,000,000 for the 2026 fiscal year. This amount is 65,600,000,000 naira higher than the 1,664,000,000,000 naira budget the governor presented to the State House of Assembly about 2 weeks ago. The breakdown of the approved budget allocates 500 billion naira to recurrent expenditure, while 1,229,900 billion naira is set aside for capital projects.
Into law the appropriation bill of 2026, tagged budget of accelerating the more agenda. The 2026 appropriation law sets to clear costs for growth and sustainable development. It is not just a budget of figures, it is rather a budget of vision, action, and expected deliverables for the next 12 months. At 1,229,881,208,779 naira only. The 2026 estimate is over 70% increase of the 2025 budget, making it very ambitious but achievable. It is prioritized development with 70% of it allocated to capital expenditure and 30% to recurrent spending.
Now, the River State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has officially opened Phase 1 of the Greater Taff City Housing Estate, a significant step towards addressing the state's housing shortage. This project is part of a larger initiative to provide affordable housing for low-income earners and civil servants with payment plans spread over a certain period. Speaking at the commissioning, Governor Fubara emphasized that the project aligns with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope housing initiative, aiming to make housing more accessible. The commissioning of Phase 1 marks the completion of the first 1,000 units, bringing the state closer to its goal of providing 20,000 affordable housing units.
We're all aware of the history and the story around Greater Port Harcourt's Development Agency, how previous administration acquired lands to develop River State, to move the development from the center city to other areas, more especially these areas, so we can accommodate our people, make life easy. You won't believe that when we started this project, we had over 90-something litigation. People coming to claim that they own this part, government have not paid. They own the other part, government is owing. But I give God all the glory that one way or the other, we're able to surmount these challenges. It wasn't just a challenge, it was a deliberate measure to frustrate our idea. Today is marking the first phase of this project. Not just marking the first phase, it is seeing the reality of what we vision. 1,000 housing units is not a joke. 1,000 housing units for middle earning people. 1,000 housing. Today, River State is moving development from the center city to this area. What we did today is to complement the vision of Mr. President. We were approached here sometime last year to allocate a land for 1,000 housing units. It's called the Renew Hope Housing Estate. What we have done today is providing our first.
We now go to News Central's Austin Azu in Asaba to give us more details. Now, Austin, the governor has disclosed that 75% of the budget is earmarked for infrastructure development. Can you outline other infrastructural projects that the governor seems to be embarking on, especially for 2026? Because it seems like the administration is heavily focused on infrastructure this period.
Okay, good afternoon, Blessing. Like what the governor rightly stated, that over 75% of the budget will be tailored towards infrastructural development. And of course, in the breakdown of the 2026 budget, 500 billion naira earmarked for the recurrent expenditure, while over 1 trillion naira is earmarked for capital expenditure within the state. And of course, there are some ongoing infrastructural projects that the governor has started already. One about the flyover at Warri, the one at PTI Junction, and the ongoing project at Ugele, same flyovers as well, and the one at Agbo. So obviously, the developmental stride of the governor cuts across the 3 senatorial districts.
All right, apologies for that. We can't get all of the information from Austin Azu regarding the infrastructure development. But right now, we'll be going straight to get live visuals from River State concerning the infrastructure plans and the road commissioning that began a few days ago with the Governor Sim Fubara that is now currently ongoing.